Hello everyone, my name is Samantha Versick and welcome back to Blacklisted Technology. In today's video, I'm going to be going over how to effectively work remotely. It's difficult because you're not leaving your house. You're working where you're sleeping, and you're sleeping where you're eating, and it's just an entire mess. But I found these tips and tricks really helped me get through it and find a healthy balance between the two. The first tip that I have is the simplest tip yet, but I know especially during the beginning of the pandemic, I was not listening to this, and that is to get dressed, get ready in the morning. I know it may be wonderful to wear your yoga pants and maybe a professional shirt, but fully get in all your attire. This is going to help set your mental status as, okay, I'm ready to work and I am ready for the next step, rather than just lounging around all day and working in comfortable clothes. Even though it may seem ideal, it actually works in the opposite direction. I know for me, during the beginning of the pandemic, I definitely wanted to wear yoga pants, but then I soon found myself getting in kind of a rut. I was kind of getting sad and upset and just feeling down. But then once I started to get ready every day and put on full makeup, even though no one will really see it, I started to feel so much better about myself. And I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing, and I need to get ready every day in order to feel 100%, and I found that really useful for me. Another thing that really helped me was just working in the same room. I remember during the beginning, I would work on the couch and in the kitchen, and that only works out for so long. Yes, it's much more comfortable than any office chair, although it's not effective because when you get too comfortable, you're not able to focus as well. So what I actually ended up doing is turning my guest room into an office. And this was extremely helpful for me because then I was able to separate parts of the house. I was able to separate and say, okay, this part of the house is for working, and after work hours, I don't go in this room. And that was really able to help me to improve my mental status, especially from not leaving the house during COVID, because it's better to stay inside, and if you do go outside, wear a mask. It's also extremely helpful to work in the same room because then you don't have your stuff everywhere. I remember when I was first working in the living room, I had my laptop and my notes, and I mean, the living room just became a giant office, and that wasn't healthy because every day I was cleaning that up. So I found it was extremely useful to turn my guest bedroom into an office because then I was able to have all my stuff in one place and I wasn't running around the house trying to get everything before a meeting. So for me, that worked out really well. My second tip is during the day, try to go for walks. If you live in an area where the temperature is okay, then get outside and breathe some fresh air and look at the sky. And even just for 5 or 10 minutes, this can make all the difference because sometimes, especially when you're working on a difficult problem, you can get stuck in your headspace and be like, no, I can't do anything. I can have lunch until I solve this problem. But just by getting out of the house and pushing yourself to do that, then you're really able to see a new outlook on the problem and find a better solution. It's really helpful to go for walks, especially during a pandemic, because you almost feel like you're stuck in the house and you forget that, oh wait, I can actually go outside for a walk and that's completely safe. So I found that was something really helpful for me once that I realized that, oh, it's fine if I go for a walk during the day. Yes, I may take 5 or 10 minutes off work, but then I'm able to be 10 times more productive than I would just sitting at the desk. So I found that especially helpful for me. One of the most useful tools that I've used to work effectively remotely during COVID is to work on different projects throughout the day. Now, I know some jobs may be very redundant, but whatever field you're in, I'm sure there's various of tasks you need to get done. So whether you have emails to catch up on or you need to speak directly with clients, make sure you're kind of mixing it up throughout the day and don't just do one specific task, because I found, especially for myself, it was very redundant every day. I was doing the same exact thing and I wasn't creating various of different documents that I needed to go through. But I found that once I switched it up a little and started saying, okay, this hour I'm going to work on replying to emails, this hour I'm going to work on Blacklisted, this hour I'm going to look for new prospects. That's when I really saw a big change, when I started doing different things. Then I wasn't getting stuck in my head and so bored and upset. So I think whatever job you have, even if it's very redundant and you're doing the same thing, I'm sure you can find different tasks and topics to focus on throughout the day so that you're not getting bored in the same redundant task. And that's very important when working remotely. Now, my final tip for working remotely is reach out to people. We are all in the same situation right now, and it's difficult for everyone to be working, living, sleeping in the same house and not really leaving for any certain thing. So reach out to people, be like, hey, how are you doing today? I'm working on this project. What are you working on? And just by having that little bit of interaction is really going to help. Something that I found very beneficial was creating Zoom meetups, whether that's people in your industry or just different friends. It's very useful because then you remember what it is like to speak to people face to face rather than just on the phone, not having that physical contact. So I found that really useful, and I highly recommend reaching out to people and creating Zoom meetups and just even speaking with your family. Reaching out to people is the key when working effectively remotely. These were my tips and tricks on how to effectively work remotely. Make sure to ask any questions down below and check out my website at black-listed.technology and my iOS app, black-listed. Thank you for watching today's video, and make sure to tune in next week